And in many ways it is. But we're going to tell you some of the other parts of modeling which may be something you never even experienced or heard of before. Tonight, to my left, is one of my dear friends, Bonnie Kay. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi.
Now I'm going to tell them who you are and what you are. Well, not everything. Bonnie started one of the most interesting, most exciting modeling agencies in New York, along with her husband, Richard. It's different in many ways, and she's going to tell us why. Before we do that, however, we're going to introduce some of our other guests who Bonnie was kind enough to bring along with her, who work with her agency. To my right is Ty Collins. Hi, Ty.
Tay.
I want to tell you, we have, this is only our 5th take, folks, and I have ruined everyone's name to the point that I think my tires are flattened, so don't be the least bit concerned. And to Bonnie's left is Danielle Quinn. Thank God I got that right. Okay. And to the adjacent right, we have Donna Clement. Hi, Donna.
Hi.
Hi. Now you're happy? All the names are safe, I can go home. Bonnie, why did you start a modeling agency?
The time was here. I always wanted to start my own agency. I used to model. I modeled for a long time.
How long is that?
About 15 years.
But you're only 19, huh?
I know, I was a baby. I was a baby. And 2 years, a little over 2 years ago, I decided this was the time. So I started slowly, and it has mushroomed and grown into a large agency at this time.
But why has your agency done as well as it's done? I know many of the girls who come to me who you sent as patients, for example, they tell me they've been with other agencies and they don't get, for example, the personal attention. They don't feel as strongly like a personal attraction and a feeling towards you of a real relationship, the fact that you do care. Is that one of the strong points of your agency, would you think? That you're really there all the time? You're working 27 hours a day or whatever you do?
Yes, it really have to carry me out. It's very important that I think a lot of agencies have become so large that they have lost the personal contact with the models. And models really need that. We all need that. And that's what our agency does. It has the personal contact with everyone. We all know each other. We're like a family. And I think that's very important.
So you really think that most of the agencies have become such a business type thing, they really don't have the interest in the girls as much?
Well, it's a very tough business, and because it is such a tough business, you have to have the personal contact. But it's true, it went the other way instead of the way it should have gone to make it even more personal.
Do you think modeling really is as glamorous? I mean, you're in that business. So many people think modeling is the most glamorous business. The girls that I talk to say, boy, it is the toughest work. These
when they have to go to
go-sees,
sleep at 8 o'clock
6 o'clock in the morning, they're walking around, you ask a girl out for dinner, she said,
Forget it.
If you want to meet me at 6 o'clock for dinner, I'll go, fine, otherwise I've got to be in bed at 9 o'clock.
That's
because
right.
You can't go to Studio 54 or the Underground or places
and get up and do an early booking. It's impossible. And a lot of times the girls come here from other parts of the country or other parts of the world, and they say, oh, New York, how great, we're going to go out and boogie all night? No,
and the funny thing, those girls,
no way.
Those girls very often don't meet the nicest guys, because the nicest guys are not out dancing at 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's right, they're not.
They're whole thing about they're waiting for the Wall Street Journal to be delivered first thing in the morning so they can buy a shopping center or something like that.
That's right. They can only get in trouble at 3 o'clock. That's right.
That's the only thing they can get in. Maybe find a cab.
Right.
Bonnie, how many girls would you say really who, say a girl comes to you, what are the chances of 100 girls who come to you, how many of those girls are really going to, quote, unquote, make it in modeling, as far as finances, as far as notoriety, as far as publicity, as far as her own self-image? How many girls are going to really make it in modeling today?
Oh, it's really make it big, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, it's tough. 10%.
10%.
Maybe.
And how many, if a girl comes to you, some people say at 22 they're too old to model. Do you think that's true today?
That's not true. No, I don't think that's true.
I mean, some of these modeling agencies today, they have girls who are 15 and they put lipstick on and they look 25.
Like they're 25.
Fabulous, you know. You get arrested for those kind of girls, you know.
Right. I think some of the girls who make the most money, who are most successful, are the ones who are, I would say, 23, 25. It takes a lot of years to build up. You know, build it up. I would say between 20 and 25 are the strong years, even though you say between 15 and 18. But it takes the time to get the, you know, to get
poise,
used to
you mean, really know how to...
Get the poise and to become sure of yourself. And
how would a girl at home, let's assume there's a very lovely lady who might see our show in Pittsburgh, and she's terrific. She's lovely, and she has a certain way, and she's tall enough, and she has all the credentials. How would a girl go about coming to New York? Would she write to you? Would she send you photographs? How
She
does
would
a girl
have-
do it?
She should have some photographs taken from a photographer, wherever she's from, and she should send it to the agencies. This is really what she should do.
How would they find out about you? How, you know, you're not, for example, as well known as, shall we say, some of the other older agencies, but certainly we in New York know you and we love you.
Oh, thank you. Thank
But
you.
how would somebody, for example, outside of New York, who probably would do better with an agency like you, with someone like yourself who is so interested in young girls starting, where your finger is on them and directing them and helping them, and being that you've been in the business and you've been so recently out of it, you understand the problems they're having. How would they find out about you or another up-and-coming agency?
Well, a lot of the girls who come from out of the state, they have gone to agencies in where they're from. You know, if they're from a little place in Virginia or wherever they're from, there's agencies in all those states. And those agencies in those states always know the affiliates or whatever of the agencies in New York. And in that respect, they contact them.
Do you think it's important that a girl goes to Europe if she really wants to make it big in New York?
Yes, for sure. Europe is very important. Very. It's important
Don't those guys
to
drive the
build
girls crazy running after them?
That's part of it. That's part of it. It's part of growing up.
Where would you suggest, for example, like Milano? Or
I would, especially Milan.
Yeah. Why is that? I
And
mean, everyone talks about Milano being so good for
because
modeling.
they have a lot of magazines and that they produce every week. They make magazines galore, right? And because of that, there's so much work.
I see. So a girl wants to do it.
Sure,
It's better to
yes.
go perhaps to Milano first, or to Japan, or to Germany, or something like that, and then come back to New York?
Yes, absolutely. It's as much traveling as they can do. It's very important.
Why don't you think that more girls aren't more realistic about the actual odds? It's like a kid who wants to be a professional basketball player. The fellow who's going to be like Dr. J is 1 in 50,000. And the girl who's going to be a Cheryl Teagues is probably the same number. Don't you think girls should really, at a certain point, realize, or the modeling agency should tell them, now look, girls, you're a very attractive lady and you're doing all right, but you're not going to perhaps break out into, say, the $20,000 a year type plateau.
Exactly.
Do you do that?
Do we tell the
Yes.
girls? At a point, yes, we do. We do at a certain
And where do
point.
you
but
hide when the
that's
plates come?
unpleasant.
Where do you hide when the plates come? I mean, the girls,
Under the desk.
can they deal with that? Can they recognize the fact that you're being fair with them, or they say, you
I
can't
think
get me
it's
work?
doing them a great favor.
I see.
But I think after a girl has been in the business a certain amount of time, and a man also, they realize it comes to them, and they branch off. A lot of them, of course, have dreams of branching into acting. So a lot of them study, they take classes and branch into commercials. And then, or they get married or whatever, but
That's the rarity.
That's it.
No one gets as lucky as you with Richard. That's
it
the rarity.
happens, it
And you have 2
happens.
beautiful little girls, too.
Yes,
I know.
2 little girls, 5 and 6.
I know, wonderful. I mean,
So it's
But you
wonderful.
look about 19, I told you that before.
Thank you.
Tell me,
We're all friends.
how did you get to meet Daniele? He's a nice young fellow. I'm sure he's going to do very well in the business. And did you meet each other, or was it you referred? Yes.
I was introduced, yes.
And why did you choose to come to Bonnie as opposed to some other agency?
I was with some other agent. I was with another agency, a big one, but as you said before, it is better. An agency that is not, that is new, fairly new, and it follows you more. It does.
And has Bonnie really been on your case?
Yes,
And say,
no,
she wants you in
she
bed
has,
by
yeah.
11 o'clock? Did
Yeah.
she make bed checks?
I don't listen to her, of course. No,
But you
no.
find that her interest in you has been different from some of the other
Yes,
agencies, and you have a lot.
definitely.
And now, how long have you been doing modeling?
Well, fairly, 6 months now in New York. I did something in Italy. But since I came to New York in September, I started.
Bonnie, do you think it's easier for a man who has a great look to get started as opposed to a woman? Are there more?
There are fewer.
There are
fewer
fewer
men.
men.
Yes, there
But
are
does a
fewer
man have a
men.
better shot if he's really good?
Yes.
He does.
In many ways, yes. Man has a good shot if he's
Well,
good.
at least the
Absolutely.
photographers won't
But-
come on to them, at least.
At least.
Something we don't know. Now, we're going to ask you, our beautiful friends. Donna, what makes you happy or unhappy about modeling in New York? Now, you mentioned before that you had been in Japan. Which do you prefer?
Well, I don't know. There are good things and bad things. What I like here is being with Bonnie is that when I call up on the phone, ask my auditions, they always say, how are you? How are you doing? Oh, you got this job. I was in Japan. It's like, oh, how are you doing? You have the job. Here's your worksheet. That's it. They don't have any excitement, enthusiasm.
Maybe it's a language problem, too, huh? Were they speaking Japanese to you?
Oh, no, they're speak English. They're just not like that. They're just not excitable people.
Well, they're not. They're different type of personalities. But did you find there's a lot of work there?
I worked almost every day.
Great.
I came back so tired. And I had to come back to New York to get
very
a
rich,
rest.
but very rich, right? Tay, how about you? I know you were the former, and you actually are now Miss Virginia, am I correct? Was that for the Miss USA contest? Or?
Yes.
Wonderful. You've been in New York how long?
5 months.
Oh my God, can you imagine how many guys are going to run over here to meet her now? I mean, 5 months in New York.
Oh, boy.
They must be putting up signs around your building, please call me. You know, do you like modeling in New York? Are you finding a lot of things
Oh,
opening up to you?
I love it, yeah.
Are you interested also perhaps in doing some acting?
Yes, in fact, when I first got here, Bonnie got me some press in the paper,
Great.
and someone saw my picture and had me come over and audition for a movie, which I'm reading for next week.
Oh, nice. So as soon as you get ready,
Yeah.
we'll come to the opening and do the whole thing. Bonnie, I'd like to know some more of some of the tips you might give some of the people at home as far as not just getting into modeling. How about for the girl at home who is a nice-looking lady? What can she do, perhaps, that you may have a little tip to keep looking great, to stay in shape? What are the little tips that you have had as a model and that you tell your girls yourself? We want the inside scoop now.
Inside scoop. They really have to take care of their skin. And it comes from the inside out. They have to watch what they eat, and they have to exercise, and they really have to use creams. I'm a great believer in moisturizer and
Right.
everything. And drinking a lot of water.
Very important.
And I think that's number one. And if they do those things, if they exercise and they eat properly, you know, it's a whole glow that they have. It's a whole, even if the girl's not that attractive, she'll be her most. She'll be her utmost if she does that. And I think that's the beginning, really.
Don't you think the late hours is what gets them a lot too?
Oh, that kills them. I don't care if you're 17 or 70, that will get you.
And I'll tell you something else. I think alcohol is one of the main problems with people. When I see a girl who's modeling, who's really good, you're never going to see her having hard liquor. If she'll have a drink, she'll have a white wine spritzer. I am so tired of white wine, I could die. I mean, it's absolutely boring. It's poison. I mean,
It's true.
I'm now into Campari. I have it with all the time because, first of all, it's good for the tummy. And, you know, it calms the tummy, and it's such a mild drink. You can drink them all night, and it looks good. It comes laborious. But I myself, I never drink white wine. It's just such a blah drink. But the girls who I see who are really big in well, vodka, you know, that's the drink of the domestics. No one knows they're drunk. But the people that I know who are really successful, and I'm not just in modeling, they don't have alcohol so much anymore. The occasional cognac with dinner, maybe, but they're drinking very much more lightly. They're drinking the bottled waters and things like that. Oh, right, absolutely.
They're very conscious, very conscious.
So when you tell girls about exercise, I know you send a lot of the girls to my office to have the facials done and to have other types of cosmetic surgery.
They have to take care. That's number one.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. A lot of models, and you know this, come to me and their complexions are not good because they don't know how to take care of them. So they're putting all this stuff on, and they must have to take it off and how to protect themselves, and they don't.
They don't. And this is the biggest problem. Sometimes the girls walk in.
You see,
I said, what is that? And their face is so broken out.
You know,
would think
you've sent girls to me who are so beautiful when they come in, and when they take their makeup off, they're scary because they let themselves go. Not that. Well, I want to tell you something. I want to get scared like that every day. But they really have a problem, and they often come in, and I have to give them a whole regimen and what to do and explain because they don't know. It is a thing. For example, I told you my book will be out, and I mentioned in the book that a woman or a man is just so inundated with so many different things, these claims and those claims. You walk into Bloomingdale's or into Saks, you are inundated by the number of choices you have, and you don't know what to use.
It's true.
Now, you tell people about the moisturizing and the creams and the masks I know you use at home.
Especially the cleansing, exactly.
When you say exercise, what should the person at home do? I mean, you did it. You are great looking. You've always been attractive. What do you do when you say exercise? It's nice to say. What?
They don't have to. I mean, okay, some people like to go to a club and work out, but it's not necessary. If you exercise 10, 15 minutes.
Doing what?
Every day.
What do you want them to do? Chase your husband? Not your husband.
Well, it depends on the girl or the guy, but they can do leg raisers or sit-ups and things like that.
Even getting in the wall.
And if they get a little bicep, exactly, and if they walk a lot, well, if you're a model, you walk a lot anyway.
You know the pavement well in New York.
Oh, yeah.
You know, every time the cabs go up in New York, a nickel or a dime, I find it costs me $5,000 more a year because I'm not married. So everyone, should give me your cab money. So every time it goes up, I'm in big trouble. Do you have any personal misconceptions, perhaps, about modeling now that you've been in it? Things you didn't think about before, Ty?
Well, I'd heard a lot of bad things about it. I think everybody does. But Kay is very businesslike. Everything's strictly on a business level. They don't allow us to give out our home phone numbers to any clients. So I thought that was a big shock. You know, you hear so many things.
Right, you can give your cards to everybody, right? You like me, anybody wants to call me, I'll take their call, you know?
That's true. We have meetings at the agency, which I don't think other agencies have, where we all meet and we talk about the problems that arise and stuff.
You know, if you want to
And
make
this is
some friends,
unusual. No one really does that.
I think it's very unusual. If you want to make some
It
great
is.
friends, invite all your men friends who are single to these meetings. I think you make everybody very, very happy. How about some misconceptions you might have had that you might have straightened out about when you thought about modeling as a career? It's a full-time commitment. You can't just go into this and say, gee, I want to try being a model, because I believe it's a full-time job, and you know it. It's not the kind of thing you just try to hang out and do.
That's right. What I didn't expect was that people wouldn't listen to what I say. And
Present company included?
when I'm on a shooting, you know, people don't. Many times they don't think that your opinion is worth anything. You know, as to color and things like that.
But don't you think, though, if you're going to be a model, aren't there people who direct that more or less? I mean,
Well,
you can
I'm used to it
suggest
now.
to them, but it's really up to them.
Yeah, but some people get very offended.
Really?
Even when your ideas are the best. They just don't know it.
I think you should walk in with a card and say, look, I don't want to offend you, but...
That's right.
Daniele, how is it different for a man being a model? Do you date models?
I try to.
Whenever you have a chance, huh? Okay. Now, before we go on with some more wonderful ideas about how to meet models, just sit right here. I want Maureen to tell you something for you at home. Now, don't go away.
Many of you may be interested in the products Dr. Fetter discusses on his show. Here's looking at you. Dr. Fetter has formulated a full line of products for his patients, and now he's making them available to you. In the standard kit, he recommends a soap-free cleansing bar and EvacuWash 1 face cream for daily cleansing. And in the evening, he recommends the cleansing bar or EvacuWash 2 cleansing grains for those with occasional problem skin. In the next step in the evening regimen is the mild peeling astringent, and Dr. Fetter's moisturizer can be used twice daily. There is also a special Norgenic moisturizer, specially designed for sensitive skin. Dr. Fetter also offers a full line for acne and problem skin. In addition, he is a firm believer in the usage of facial masks for both normal and problem skins. The gel and camphor masks are specially designed to be used 2 to 3 times a week. Dr. Fetter also offers several types of regenerative ampules for the face, and he has made available a full line of therapeutic vitamins especially designed for the skin, hair, and nails, including stress and acne formulas. Now, there are 60 products in all, each designed for specific needs. For further information, please call or write to Dr. Fetter.
Maureen, thank you. Tay, tell me some more ideas about how you stay so lovely and how you take care of yourself. Is there a special thing that you do every morning to make sure you... I know you fall asleep in your clothes, you don't take your makeup off, right?
Exactly.
What do you do?
No, I cleanse every night before I go to bed with the night moisturizer, and every morning I wash my face and use a moisturizer. I use eye creams at night.
Good. Do you go in the sun?
I used to.
I'm not going to spank you if you tell me the truth now. You know that. I mean, there's no spanking on this show. You know?
No, I was a lifeguard this past summer, so I was out in the sun quite a bit, but I always wear a hat.
Good.
And stay in the house. Yeah, so.
Donna, how about you?
I never go in the sun without protection.
Good. Well, you're blue-eyed. You have to be very careful.
And I also have very fair skin, and that's what sells me. Is I have an unusual combination, so I especially have to guard myself.
You take vitamins?
Yes, every morning with my cranberry juice.
Do you? Why cranberry juice?
Oh, God.
Keeps the boys away?
It's really good.
It's very good. The enzymes are very good.
I agree with you about that. It's very good. In fact, a lot of urologists recommend that for people who have problems with stones. So are you very enthusiastic about your new modeling, this whole new career? Do you really think there's a... Remember what Bonnie said, 10% of the girls really make it. Does that dissuade you at all from going on in modeling?
No, not at all.
Are you interested in an acting career also, perhaps?
No.
Why? You just
I never really gave it a second thought. I enjoy more designing and creating, and I'm starting to get a little training in that now.
But you mentioned what, graphic design before?
Graphic design work.
So you prefer perhaps even to do that as an adjunct to the modeling?
well, if someone wants to give me an offer for an acting job.
Well, wait, you never know. We have some wonderful guy at home there who wants to just call up Bonnie Kay and say, I want to give this girl an acting job. It happened to a few girls who've done the show, so stranger things have happened.
I believe that.
Oh my God! Did you pay her to say that? Bonnie, so give me some more insight, because you know, I've been a fan of yours for a long time. And when I found that you started the agency, I was most impressed because I knew you had mentioned to me even years ago when I knew your sister, and we were all buddies hanging out together, going to have dinners at strange hours and things like that. But now that you have the agency, do you really think there's a strong current now for people to use more of the modeling? I heard during the recession they were using less models. Is business really as good or as bad as people say, or is it? Do you anticipate things getting better in modeling?
It's very good now. A couple of years ago it was bad, and last year was good, and I think it's going to get better. I think there's no end to it. I really think so. Optimistic.
But do you really think, though, that the average woman who comes to you, is she realistic about it? I mean, are there things that you can really see even before? Do you take girls on because you feel sorry for them ever, or you're saying, look?
No, we can't. No.
I mean, I'm sure there are agencies who perhaps don't have the prestige and the power now and the strength that you have, who will give a girl a shot. Do you ever work with a girl and say maybe she'll do it, or?
There are sometimes I take a chance on a girl. There has been a few times, and once I was right. You know, it happened that I was like that, and I took a chance, and it worked out very well. So it can happen. It can happen like that. But I think all mothers, or most mothers, tell their girls how beautiful they are. So all girls grow up thinking that they're gorgeous and can be models. And they come into an agency, and it's tough, because they've been told all their lives that they're pretty and they're the most beautiful in the world, and they come in and they're disappointed, and that's the toughest part. You know,
we at home often read and hear about the rivalry between modeling agencies. Is it as competitive as we hear? Is there such hatred among the owners of the modeling agencies? Is it all kill, 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 or do you kind of work together in New York?
No, we don't work together.
When I say work together, I mean, do you tolerate the girl down the street from you, another agency? I mean, is it really, for example, are these contracts binding? I know girls, they sign with an agency, and then 2 weeks later they're with a different agency. Are these contracts binding? I mean, it seems to me someone signs a contract, it is a binding contract.
Yes, but it's like a marriage contract, I think.
You know how many of our friends are divorced, right?
I mean, a contract is a contract. It's binding, but I don't think an agency would want to have someone with the agency that doesn't want to be with them, really. So it's binding in a sense, but if someone really wants to go, you let them go.
You let them go. Good.
Of course.
You give them their shoes and say, out
That's
you go.
That's it, out you go.
What do they charge now, the commission? About, is it 15%?
20.
20%?
20%.
Boy, oh boy.
20%. It's been for a long time.
Have you ever read your contract, Daniela? Did you ever see it? You just signed it. But tell me more about the rivalry. We hear about some of these great stars in the modeling agency who have this great power.
Well,
is it true? For example, we're not going to mention her name, but we know a lady in the business who's supposed to be very tough, and who has kind of a big say in the industry. Is that true?
Well, there's a rivalry to get the best girls, and the guys too. And the rivalry is in that all the agency approach all different agencies all over the country, and the pageants. They go to the pageants, you know, and they all want to get the best girls. And in that case, there's rivalry. Yes. Yes, there is. But it's fun rivalry.
How about the girls who you're friendly with, and on a personal level? Would these girls go for cosmetic surgery? Like, I know you send quite a few girls to me. No compunction. They go tomorrow if they want a breast implant or a scar revision. I do a lot of collagen on models because they're always smiling. And as you know, women's skin is thinner than men.
Yes,
that's really true.
It is
and
true.
I have
it's
to
unfair.
I agree. We don't live as long. But we look great. We look great as we die.
Right.
As we die, we look terrific. I'll tell you right off the bat. But do you notice many women becoming much more aware of? They're
much more aware, and they're not afraid of it. If someone feels they need it, they're not afraid to take the chance and go and get it fixed. Right. It used to be that they were hesitant and they were afraid, but not now. And they're open about it.
Yeah.
Very open about it. It's wonderful that. I think that everyone wants to improve themselves. They don't hesitate anymore.
What do they talk to you most about? I know you're the mother. These girls come to you with all the things, and they tell me that. What's the biggest complaint most of the girls have that you hear about? The breast implant problem, or the fact that their neck is getting to be a little...
I would say breast implant. mostly.
And we had a show on that, you know, recently.
And the eyes, too, under the eyes.
Yeah, we do
the
a
eyes.
lot of work with that, and I must say, women are about the first to consult us. But I'll tell you something funny. Many men are coming to us. I would say, for any type of procedure, I must be getting perhaps 60% women and about 40% men. And we're doing a lot of that liposuction surgery, which is great. Because I had a girl recently. It's funny, a model who had come in. She had a little problem here. She was very lovely, and on her full face, she was a little jowly here. But she's very beautiful, and what we did was we put a little cannula in here and sucked that fat out and molded the face, and it was an
that's
office
wonderful.
procedure, and she was very, very pleased. It was the kind of thing that would bother her. But I tell you, I think we have to think of some many, many more interesting questions, bring you back with some more of your fabulous models, because I know your agency is going to be one of the biggest, if not already, you're there. You're really moving along. And I know the girls who've come to me have told me so many great things about the agency. I'm looking forward to your big party at Regine's.
Oh, yes,
So
we're gonna have a big
I'll
party.
have to come there and serve drinks. And
No, it's not
Wine,
right.
Okay, I want to thank you so much for joining us. We're on every week. Don't forget to watch us next week for another interesting subject, because this show is from us, for you. Here's looking at you. Good night.